Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. Touchdowns on liquid air, on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
What's going on, folks? We here about to wrap it up. It's about 10 o'clock at night. Had a good series of games today. What's going on, Carlos? First out the limo. Appreciate you. A lot of stuff. Lot of stuff today. Kelsey Mitchell put on a clinic today. That's first and foremost. She got busy today. So all of that nonsense about what we can and can't do with Caitlin Clark, without Caitlin Clark, man, listen. All I know is, and this ain't the first time I've said it, if y'all go look last year, a lot of the games last year, when Caitlin Clark was not playing well, Kelsey Mitchell saved the day. Said that before. Don't take away from what Caitlin has done or will do in the future. But there have been some situations where Caitlin was not getting it done. She wasn't having a great night. Wasn't having a great night. Now, we can also speak on vice versa. There's been some days where Kelsey wasn't, Kelsey was in the slump early this year, and Caitlin picked up the slack. So it goes both ways. It happens. And that's just the thing that happens, man. But today, Kelsey put on a clinic. If she'd have made a couple of them layups, she should have had about 40 points. She should have had about 40. So, but, I was over here going crazy just because she kept dropping and dropping and dropping. And just like I said, it's when you make your shots, when you make your open shots, that makes all the difference in the world. That makes all the difference in the world. And to Chicago's credit, Rachel Banham was lighting them up. Nobody had that on their bingo card. Rachel Banham is going to match what Kelsey Mitchell was doing. But nobody saw that coming. Because Rachel Banham was not good earlier in the year. And I was like, Haley Van Lith need to be playing. As I said that. But as of late, Rachel Banham has been on a heater. And today she ended up with 26 points? So you had somebody to match that production. You had, as bad as it was, not bad, but I should say that as bad as Chicago is, teams seem to play us hard and get the, all of the games where we playing teams, we're not blowing anybody out. And I keep saying this. You saw what happened today. Las Vegas won today. You saw Atlanta without Ryan Howard takes down Minnesota. So it just proves my point that I made a couple days ago. Heck, that I said again yesterday. There is no team in the WNBA that's hands down they got it. They're going. I can see them in the playoffs, in the finals. Everybody can get got. Every team is suspect. Every team is suspect. Atlanta just took down Minnesota, and Fee had a great game, but Atlanta was the better team today. Alicia Gray was in her bag, and they were making things happen. You can't just show up. You can't just show up. I didn't see Kelsey's post game comments, but at the end of the day, fans gonna get upset. I got to go look at it. I didn't see what it. What did she say? If it was anything close to what Sophie said the other day, you're gonna get the same reaction. You got a big contingency of people that if you don't say Caitlin Clark is the best thing since sliced bread, they're not gonna rock with you. Whether the criticism is valid or not. I've gotten into disagreements. I'll say disagreements. I ain't gonna say arguments, but I've been in Indiana Fever groups on Facebook and other places, and people will get mad at me if I criticize her game, like stuff that should be obvious if you watch the games. But people got their rose-colored glasses, and they just can't see any wrong in certain players. And I understand that. I understand what the fandom does to you. I'm just not one of those people. I try to keep it real. I call the games like I see it. As much as I love Kelsey Mitchell, as much as I love Caitlin Clark and others, if they have stinkers, they got stinkers. As much as I like Sabrina Ionescu was hot garbage in the finals last year. Go watch the tapes. She hit that one shot that kept them alive in that game. Other than that, she was not good in the finals. Not at all. Stewie and Jonquel Jones carried them through the finals. I don't mean I don't like Sabrina Ionescu. It don't mean she ain't win the title. She may have only hit one or two shots, but she hit one or two clutch shots. So it's all comes with the package. It's part of the deal. So when people get bent out of shape, if you don't say, if Angel Reese ain't the greatest thing since sliced bread, if Caitlin Clark ain't the greatest thing since sliced bread, you don't have people coming for your neck. And it's like, so be it. Because at the end of the day, I can ignore you. The stuff that I like, the stuff that I rock with, I rock with. If I don't like it, I don't engage. I don't have to read the comments. I don't have to get into it like that. I don't. So what's up, Jackie? Kelsey Mitchell is the best player on that team. Why are so many people trying to spare Caitlin by not admitting it? Man, Steve. Listen, I'm not gonna doubt you. And Jackie, you might be new here, but with me, Kelsey Mitchell is personal for me. Kelsey Mitchell is from my hometown of Cincinnati. Kelsey Mitchell went to my high school, and Kelsey Mitchell's father was a friend of mine. So Kelsey Mitchell literally is the reason I started watching the W. Now, I didn't get invested until later when the whole Caitlin Clark thing happened. But I would watch, when I would catch the WNBA, I would look for Kelsey Mitchell. I didn't care about the Fever. I didn't care about anybody else. I was specifically trying to watch her to support her, period. That's as far as it went for me. And then the more I got into it, and then, a couple years ago, I got invested. There's a difference. There's a difference between watching WNBA and getting invested. Matter of fact, hold on. Just got this in the mail. I know it's cheap, but I wanted something that I could, lounge around in. Got my first piece of merch. You know what I mean? Just a cheap t-shirt, a cheap gray. That's all I wanted. Eventually, I'm gonna get a couple of golf shirts. But my point is I'm invested when I wasn't before. So, and I've said before, like even last year, you watched the games last year when Caitlin Clark struggled. Who brought him over the top? Kelsey Mitchell. That hasn't changed. The only difference is now, and let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. Last year was the first time in her career that Kelsey made the playoffs, in large part to Caitlin Clark. You can look at it both ways. Two things can be true. Kelsey Mitchell can be a phenomenal player, but Kelsey Mitchell, um, she didn't have her Pippen moment until last year. Just like Jordan, Jordan didn't do crap. Jordan couldn't win a damn thing until Pippen showed up. And people tend to forget that. They want nowadays, if you got a favorite player or if you got a player that comes out that's super hyped, they got to be all world with a cape. And it's like, it don't work that way. You can't win games by yourself. I say this all the time. Um, Caitlin Clark, with all of her assists, I do believe Caitlin Clark is one of the best passers in the league. That cannot be argued. But you can only get an assist if the player that you pass it to makes the bucket. So even with that, you're dependent on something else happening. So you got to, at the end of the day, you got to make shots. And last night we made shots. And even when we made the shots, Chicago still made it a game. Or today, I should say. Chicago still made it a game. The last game, who was it? Who did they play last game? I'm blanking. Who did so that was Saturday, so Sunday. Was that Friday? Las Vegas. Las Vegas. Like Las Vegas, they clobbered Las Vegas. So, and my thing is beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. And then when it's time to get to the playoffs, then you got to turn it up to another notch. But after seeing what happened tonight, after seeing Atlanta take down Minnesota without Ryan Howard, to me, that's an impressive win. A 14-point win. I'm sorry, 4-point win. Um, to me, that's impressive. When one of your best players is on the bench from injury, that's a good job. We put together a good win against Chicago. We let them back in it, but they handled their business. Las Vegas took down Dallas, but we all know what Dallas is. Dallas is on the struggle bus. So Golden State, Connecticut. Connecticut gets their 4th win of the year. So down goes Golden State. Golden State, in my opinion, is a better team than Connecticut, but Golden State just lost Thornton. So now they got to figure out who's going to pick up that production. Who's going to really pick up that production? Now they're going to test and see what what Kate Martin's got. They really going to put her to the test. Because then now it's like, if you're going to play it, you got to prove that you are above and beyond. So a lot of people are gonna figure out what's going on and what they got to do. So I hope they can. But it's, to me, it's the further you get to the end of the regular season, it's wide open. It's wide open. Phoenix can get beat. Phoenix can get beat. New York can get beat. Minnesota can get beat. Atlanta can get beat. Everybody's beatable. So all you got to do is make it to the playoffs. I don't care where you fall in the seeding. It doesn't matter, because any team can get got. It doesn't matter where you fall. You just got to get there. Um, Jackie, I'm not gonna debate with that, because I like Kelsey Mitchell, and I still think Kelsey Mitchell is the problem. I think I think Caitlin Clark, and I said this once before. if Caitlin Clark gets her shooting back, and I'm sure she will. I'm sure she will. If she starts shooting at the clip that she normally shoots at, and she brings down the turnovers, right? When you handle the ball as much as she does, you are going to turn the ball over. But if she can bring down some of those turnovers, my comp is this: Caitlin Clark is going to be as good as or better than what Sabrina Ionescu is now. Because I still think Caitlin Clark is one of the best passers in the league. She is. I think a lot of her turnovers would not be turnovers if the people that she's passing the ball to could catch it. Because sometimes they're a step too late, and it ends up being a turnover. That happens more times than not. So um, when that gets ironed out, the turnovers will go down. But when you handle the ball like she handles it, she gonna turn the ball over. Ain't really much you can do about that. So, but Jackie, I ain't mad at that. You can argue that, especially the way Caitlin was shooting this year. You could definitely argue that. But here's the thing, and this is a valid question. And remember, I'm saying that this is somebody that is a Kelsey Mitchell fan. Why has it taken it so long? Why is it taking so long to get a better team around Kelsey Mitchell? How come last year, for whatever reason, you just get into the playoffs for the first time in your career? So I am extremely happy and satisfied that people are finding out how good Kelsey Mitchell actually is. I'm glad people are finally finding that out. And I hope she can take it to the next level and we can continue to go to the playoffs for the next couple of years or so. But you don't know what's going to happen. You got this new CBA coming. Um, it's a whole big old X factor. You don't know what's going to happen. So, but they can get it done. Everybody got a shot. Everybody got a shot. Now, as for today, um, where'd my ESPN go? Let's jump in our box scores today. The Sun, I don't know how the Valkyries lost to the Sun like that. Tina Charles just went to work, 24.6 rebounds. But let's start with um, the Indiana Fever and Chicago. I mean, who got minutes? Before we go any further, let me put this out there right now. Keep Chloe Bibby. Keep Chloe Bibby. Please, please, please. Keep Chloe Bibby. Are we all clear? Are we all clear on that? Keep Chloe Bibby. Natasha Howard was the only one that just didn't show up today. She had a couple opportunities in the paint and she could not convert. 0 for 5 from the floor. And Natasha Howard should be good for at least 8 to 12 points a game. Every now and then she'll peek up there and get 18 to 20, but for whatever reason today, she could not get a bucket to save her life. Happens like that. So Natasha Howard was the only one that just didn't show up. -10 on the plus minus. Aaliyah Boston, 14 and 11 with 6 assists and 2 steals and 2 blocks. Aaliyah Edwards, don't just look at the score and think, yeah, she had an all right game. Aaliyah Boston was lighting up the stat sheet. Light it up. 14 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. She killed again. Kelsey Mitchell, 35 points, 6 assists, 3 steals. Defense wins, man. Indiana is a very good defensive team. They just got to get better at converting on the offensive end. I've been saying that all week. Sophie Cunningham, she was 1 for 6 from 3. And Ari McDonald, 10 points, solid as usual, man. Ari McDonald has been the best pickup the Fever have had. Ari Stay Ready McDonald has every time she get in the game, she getting it done. She getting it done. I hope Chloe Bibby can step in and give us another opportunity to shoot deeper. With those threes that she can hit, she got a good stroke. Not the fastest person in the world, but she don't have to be. She got decent height. She had 6 foot, and she got she got stats while she was over there in Australia and everything. So I'm looking forward to it. Keep Chloe Bibby. Michaela Timpson. Listen, Michaela Timpson. She is starting to understand, just like remember the scene in The Matrix when Morpheus was watching Neo fight Mr. Smith, Agent Smith, and they were like, what is he doing? He's beginning to believe. Michaela Timpson, every time she gets on the court, that girl can jump so damn high. It's not even funny. That girl is just, when she skies, she skies. And man, she gets it done. And when she figures out, she still hasn't quite figured out like the spatial awareness when she's playing defense or pulling down or trying to go up with a putback. Sometimes she gets herself like out of position, or it's almost like she forgets where she is. So, sometimes but every time she gets on the court, she gets better and better and better and better and better. Every time she gets on the court. And that's all we need right now. Yeah, I never believed in the rivalry thing. That was people that in my opinion that wanted Angel Reese's popularity to be up there with Caitlin Clark's, and it just wasn't. And don't get me wrong, Angel Reese has a huge fan base, but it's different. The majority, here's the difference as I see it. Here's the difference between Angel Reese's fan base and Caitlin Clark's fan base. Angel Reese's fan base is split. Caitlin Clark's is not. Caitlin Clark is not a fashion model. Caitlin Clark is not. I mean, she's got the social media influence, but not as big as Angel Reese's. But Angel Reese's is she got the fashion people. She got the Met Gala people. So Angel Reese's um, popularity is split. There's a lot of people that love her fashion and her fit and what she wearing and what kind of weave she got in, and people pay attention to that type of stuff. And all of those people don't necessarily like basketball. All of those people will watch to see what she wore to the stadium. That's it. They don't watch the game. So from that standpoint, Angel Reese's audience is split because a lot of the fashion types aren't into sports. That's okay. Caitlin Clark is a little bit different. That's all she does is hoop. All she does is hoop. When you see her dressing up, she coming into the stadium. You don't see her like on too many like award shows during that All-Star weekend. You saw her like on Good Morning America and all that kind of stuff. She did the tour thing. That's what you're supposed to do when the All-Star game is in your city and you're the biggest player in the league. You got to do the tour and all of that type of stuff. So it worked. It definitely worked. I still say, and this is my opinion, I still say the biggest thing that Kelsey Mitchell and or Angel Reese could do is be in each other's space. Because when they are in each other's space, everybody stops to see what's going on. If Caitlin Clark is ever on Angel Reese's podcast, she would be doing Unc and Ocho type numbers. Guarantee you. Guarantee you. If they were to do some type of commercial or promote a product together, it would get ridiculous, stupid numbers. But she don't want to do that. She don't want to do that. Because to me, that's a business move. Nothing personal. This is strictly business. And you can keep it that way. Business is business and friends are friends. Don't confuse the two. So I thought that was just good business. Um, yeah, Jackie, don't get it twisted. I am quite aware of that. But to my point, all of her fans are not basketball fans. Two things can be true. Let's not forget that. Both things can be true. She can have a big basketball fan base, and she does. However, that is not her complete fan base. Because I posed the question not too long ago. Angel Reese undoubtedly is the queen of the social media influence for the WNBA. How come her social media influence doesn't translate one to one to her viewership when she plays? Because you got a big contingency of those people that aren't hoop fans. That's don't mean she ain't got a lot of basketball fans, but sometimes it's split. How many people that follow the WNBA or how many people that are basketball fans saw what she did at the Met Gala? I didn't, because that doesn't interest me. I like Angel Reese. I'm a fan of Angel Reese, but that aspect of her influence doesn't interest me, so I don't pay attention to it. And there's a lot of people like me that fall into that category. So it is what it is. But the one thing about Angel is Angel is starting to flip people now. Angel starting to like, hey, all y'all people, because go back and watch my video. Go back and watch my video about y'all told me she was trash. And that was a video about all of the rhetoric that you see online talking about how bad Angel Reese is and getting her own rebound and she's horrible and this, that, and the other. All she doing is doing shit that ain't nobody ever done before. I found it very interesting. Angel Reese could be asleep in the bed in a sleeping bag and still get a damn double-double. And everybody wants to act like that's not a big deal, but every week in the WNBA, I hear about some veteran, fourth, fifth, 6 year veteran that's getting a first career double double. If they're getting a um, career high at 19 points. And I'm like, huh? It's like, nah. Because if what she was doing was that damn easy, everybody would be doing it. And that ain't happening. So all I say is just get a girl her props, whether you like her or not. You ain't got to like her to recognize the game. And I use this example all the time. I am not a fan of Diana Taurasi. I thought she was a dirty player. Wasn't crazy about her. That does not mean last year when she dropped 7 threes on them, she wasn't balling. Doesn't mean she was one of the best to ever do it. That just means I didn't like her game. I didn't like some of the things she did. She was sneaky. She was dirty. All of that type of stuff. I don't roll like that. That ain't got nothing to do with the legacy she put on the court. Doesn't change a thing. Just means there's aspects of her game that I didn't particularly care for. And I'm finding more and more that my perspective is very rare. I have my perspective because I used to be a professional athlete. I played in the NFL. I seen what's going on behind the curtain. I've been in those bad locker rooms and I've seen that stuff. I've been a part of a coach getting fired and a split locker room, and I've been a part of that. So I understand. I know how the sausage is made, and the dynamics don't change. Don't matter if you a bunch of females or a bunch of guys. The team dynamic is a familial dynamic. The team is your family. When you play professional sports, most times you spend more time with your team than you do with your family. And anybody that's got siblings, that's got family, knows that families fight. So the dynamic is always going to be there. Um, and you got to keep it real. You got to keep it 100. So my perspective is different from that aspect because I can really enjoy players and call myself a fan of several players and criticize their game. Game observation. Why did you do this? Why did you do that? I'm a former Philadelphia Eagle. I love Jalen Hurts, but I'll call it out if Jalen Hurts has a stinker of a game. Call it out. It is what it is. Watch the tape. Watch the tape. I try to be Jackie. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So it's not even about, and like I said, I've gotten into arguments, I've gotten into disagreements with people in Caitlin Clark, Indiana Fever fan groups because I criticize something to me that is very obvious just by watching the game. Like, yo, Caitlin Clark, when you don't get your calls, your body language is garbage. And it's easy to see that. So me, with my history, with my experience, and I've been a coach, when I see that, if I'm the other team, if I'm the coach on the other team, if I'm the coach for Connecticut, I'm telling JC Sheldon, keep the pressure up. Keep the pressure up until the refs call it. If the refs don't call it, you keep the pressure up. And it gets her out of her game and gets her frustrated and all of that type of stuff. That's real. Any coach worth their salt would do that. That's real. But again, if Caitlin Clark ain't the best thing since sliced bread, it's like people think you hating on her. It's like, nah, that ain't the case. That ain't the case. That's a game observation. Shit, if she's into basketball like she says she is, she would tell you the same thing. She'll tell you how bad she played before anybody else will. Same thing. I said the same thing with Angel Reese. Everybody was getting mad at the rebounds, the me bounds, and we bound, whatever you was calling it. She gets her own rebounds. That's why she's leading the league in rebounds. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't give a damn about that. If I'm the coach on the other team and she pulling down 3 of her own rebounds, I'm cussing everybody out and sitting everybody on the bench. Give me somebody that can get in there and box her ass out and pull down them defensive rebounds or pull down them offensive rebounds. If she pulling down her old rebounds 2 and 3 and 4 times, what are you doing? Why you let her do that? That's what they ain't answering that question. I've said this before. That must be a lesson that she got from her Uncle Shaq. Because the one thing Angel Reese is good at, the only person that might be better at this than Angel Reese is probably Alyssa Thomas. Angel Reese is the best in the league at getting position underneath the basket. I have not seen anybody else do a better job. Now, there might be other players that are stronger than her, and she can't sneak underneath them and just putting body to body. Well, that's a strength issue. But as far as getting position, if she gets that position, y'all can look at the tape. Angel Reese is 6'3". When she stick that booty out, if she is against a smaller player, which most of the time she's going to be, she gonna stick that booty out and it's gonna catch somebody right in the hip. Right in the fulcrum of your body is your hip. And when somebody jabs you with something, even if they stick their booty out and jab you in the hip, you are going to fold over. If you fold over, that means you go down about 6 to 10 inches. So now this 6'3" person up against a 5'10" person, and now that 5'10" person is now 5 foot. So now you got 13 inches on. That's a strategic body movement. And she's the best at it. And if I'm another coach, I'm like, y'all better find a way to counteract that. You watch the tape, figure out how to do it. And who did it the best? New York. Jonquel Jones was down there. Breanna Stewart with her 7'2" wingspan was down there. Now, Breanna Stewart is not bigger than Angel Reese. Angel Reese is a little bit, Angel Reese is not a bulky woman, but she is curvy. and she's thick and she's got some strength with her. Brianna Stewart is skin and bones, but Brianna Stewart got that long ass wingspan, 7'2" wingspan, mind you. And I checked this. Michaela Timpson, I believe, is 6'10" wingspan, but Michaela Timpson can jump out the damn gym. We're gonna get the KK in a minute. So, um, so yeah, I mean, and I went through that whole rant. I say all that to say, just keep it 100 when you're talking about folks. Keep it basketball. Don't get into the nonsense. Keep it basketball. If Angel Reese is balling, Angel Reese is balling. If Caitlin Clark is balling and dropping the logo threes, she's dropping the logo threes. So, um, Albert, I agree with you with one exception. With one exception, our very own Damiris Dantas. Damiris Dantas, when she gets down low, can't be moved. Go back and watch when we played. Um, I think it might be 2 or 3 games back when we played Atlanta, and she was battling Brittany Griner down low. Brittany Griner couldn't even move her off because Damiris Dantas is strong. Her lower body is thick and strong. So she battled John Quell pretty well. Damiris Dantas is very, very difficult to move from her spot. She done battled everybody. She done battled John Quell. She done battled Brittany Griner. She done battled Brianna Jones. She done battled Lee Uru, Tierra McCowan, all the bigs in the league. You cannot move her. You can't move her. So, with the exception of John Quell, Damiris Dantas, man, if when she down low, she plays a good low post because she's so strong. So I like Damiris, but to your point, when you got somebody like that, um, when John Quell she do that wind up 3-point shot, John Quell be looking like she get the pass and like she winding up the clock, but she drops him. She drops him. Damiris drops him. And let me be honest with you, that's why I want to keep Chloe Bibby, man. Did y'all see? Go look up Chloe Bibby's highlights when she was in the Australian League. That girl wasn't playing. The girl wasn't playing. She can drop threes. She can step back. Again, I keep saying this. She ain't the fastest person in the world, but when she get her shots, that's what matters. And this is when you saw this game tonight. When you saw this game tonight, everybody was making their shots. Everybody was making their shots. One, two, three, four, 5, 10 points. 12. She scored 12 points in the second half. Probably more than that because I'm not counting free throws and stuff like that. Kelsey Mitchell, when she heated up, 7 3-pointers, man. 7 3-pointers. Kelsey Mitchell should have had 40 points tonight. She should have had 40 points tonight. So yeah, Albert, John Quell is one of my favorite players too. John Quell was one of the players that when I in earnest, and I gotta say that, I gotta preface that. When I in earnest started watching the WNBA, when I got invested in the WNBA, that means if there was a game on during the week, I was watching that game. Everybody, not just the Fever, I was watching everybody. New York, Connecticut, Phoenix, Dallas, everybody. Atlanta, I was watching all the games. John Quell, I had a list of about 5 people that weren't named Angel Reese or Caitlin Clark. That was the goal I set for myself when I said I'm going to be invested because I was already invested in the NCAA women's game because I made that same commitment 4 years ago now when I was watching the tournament. I said this year I'm going to watch all women's tournament. I'm not going to watch any men's. I'm going to pay attention to the highlights, who wins, but I'm only going to watch women. And I didn't miss a beat. And that's the last time I watched the men's game. I haven't watched a men's NCAA tournament game in probably 3 years. Now, I'll watch the highlights when they come on TV. I'll watch to see what happened in the national championship game. But as far as the day to day during the regular season, I'm all NCAA women's. To me, it's more exciting, and I like it, and I've come accustomed to it. Watching Dawn Staley, watching Gino, all of the good teams, watching Niele Ivy at Notre Dame with Hannah Hidalgo, who's a local girl from where I am right now. It's been more captivating to me, so I stick with it. I stick with it, and I haven't been disappointed. Have not been disappointed whatsoever. And now you got this cadre of great athletes coming out. I am so excited to see what Olivia Miles is going to do, what Hannah Hidalgo is going to do, what Lauren Betts is going to do. I want to see all of these people come out. And in another 2 years, you got Juju, and you got Silas Swords, and you got Toby Fournier, and you got Sarah Strong, and you got all of these young players, Mylasia Full Wiley, Ashlyn Watkins, everybody coming out. Everybody coming out. So now going forward, you got something to look forward to. And now Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Paige Beckers, they have proven that their fan base will follow them from college to the W. They've proven that. They've proven that. So all they got to do is keep it up. Keep it up. So this will be good, man. This will be good. I'm gonna make sure y'all smash the like button. And do me a favor, if you're not busy, follow me on ProFan Hoops. Like switch up, go to ProFan Hoops and watch the stream from ProFan Hoops. I'm trying to build up ProFan Hoops because all of my basketball content is gonna eventually is gonna be on Hoops, not ProFan Talk. ProFan Talk is gonna stay where I do most of my Eagles content from. ProFan Hoops is gonna be WNBA, NCAA women's, Eurobasket, um, Australian basketball, and obviously the NBA. But I don't even watch a lot of NBA. So, but all of that's going to be on. All of that's going to be on Pro Fan Hoops. So, if you are in the chat right now, do me a favor, mosey on over to Pro Fan Hoops and subscribe, like and subscribe. I got 3 channels now. 3 channels now. I got Pro Fan Talk, I got Pro Fan Hoops, and I got Pro Fan Golf. I just started playing golf again, just started going to the driving range, and I've been recording my time at the driving range, just been having a good time. So it's going to be, I don't get a chance to play a lot of like 18 holes of golf. I do that rarely, but I do go to the driving range a lot. So I've been doing that. So that's going to be fun. So if you like, I go to the flea market, I'll buy me a $10, $15 driver. I just got a new driver from Play It Again Sports, $19. So, and now that I know they got cheap ones, I might go up there again and buy another one. I have fun, I enjoy it. So look for that content too. But Pro Fan Hoops, make sure you smash that like button. So um let's get back to the task at hand. Lexi, it has been very surprising to me. Lexi Hustle Hall. That's her nickname. Lexi Hustle Hall. Because as much as I want Lexi to shoot more, she just don't shoot a lot. It is what it is. But she be hustling down them rebounds, those loose balls. That's her role, and she knows it. I didn't expect Sophie Cunningham to come in and like take minutes from her. Because to be quite honest with you, I didn't think Sophie was that good, but she proved me wrong. Sophie has been balling in the last 3, 4 games, and she's earning the minutes, and she's knocking down her shots. She's knocking down her shots. So she plays good defense. So you got to go with it. I don't know how much the dynamic is going to change now that Chloe Bibby is here, but you know, keep Chloe Bibby. So we'll see. But all right, hold on for a second. I want to. Where we at? Where we at? Uh-oh. I am up. There we go. Content. I'm all over the place. There we go. Go and let's do start the poll. And you know my poll question: did you smash the like button? And that's the poll question for the day. So make sure you smash the like. And I'm about to put the link. I'm about to drop the link in the chat. Hold on there. All right. Like Eric B say when I be on the mic. Let me see. Click here. There we go. The link is dropped. The link is dropped. So if anybody want to jump on, give your opinion, just like if you would a call-in show, except you ain't got to call in. Just click the link. Have your microphone ready. You do not have to be on camera. You can turn your camera off, and we can still hear you. So if you don't want to be bothered being on camera, you ain't got to be on camera. But let's look at some of the other scores. All right, Connecticut blasted Golden State tonight. They blasted Golden State. Connecticut is weird. But Golden State just their leading scorer only 13 points, Ileana Rupert. And I don't even think she's a starter. Veronica Burton had 10 points. Other than that, 9. Salon, Fact Bentley had 7. Tiffany Hayes had 4. Zandalasini, no points. She didn't even score. Letitia Amihir, she had 4 points. Kate Martin had 9 points. Kaylin Chen had 3 points. Carla Leet had 5 points. So nobody was scoring at a high clip today. And the Sun damn near dropped 100 on them. Tina Charles had 24. Bria Hartley had 15. Marina Mabry had 15. Sanaya Rivers only had 5 points. Interesting. 5 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks. Sanaya Rivers had a defensive game, though. So Adota didn't even score. Oof. JC Sheldon, she had a good game, 13 points, 5 for 7 from the floor, 3 for 4 from deep. JC Sheldon. JC Sheldon has not been shooting well, but she shot well today. She came out of her slump. And they shot 41% as a team. I'm sorry, 53% as a team and 41% from 3. 13 out of 14 free throws. That they were on top of their game. They made shots. Golden State, 15 for 23. They missed 8 free throws. Good Lord. 65% from the free throw line, 28% from 3, 33% from the floor. They did not have a good night on the floor at all. At all. You got to be able to make your open shots, man. I've been saying that about everything. That is forget the dumb stuff, man. Is when you get a stop or you get the ball in your hands to run an offense, you gotta make the shot. When you run them plays and your man gets open and they got an open look at the bucket, they gotta drain it. They gotta drain it. And I'm sure they left a lot on the table. A lot. Aces, Melissa Smith had 11. Kirsten Bell Very interesting. She's been playing the last couple games. She's had good games. She had 19 points tonight. I believe that's her career high. Just like I was saying earlier, you got these players getting their career highs, and it's 19, 20 points. And it's like, okay, they make a deal of it. Oh, and by the way, let me make a public service announcement, please. Ryan Rucco or whoever the announcers are going forward for any WNBA game, you do not need to tell us how many autographs Caitlin Clark signed. Okay? Just let me throw that out there. If you want to throw it back, fine, but I'm going to say it anyways. And I'm a Caitlin Clark fan. I do not need stats about how many autographs she signed. I think Ryan Rucco was acting all excited because she signed 200 autographs or something like that before the game. And it's like, stop it. Stop it. You clamoring for a way to mention Caitlin Clark, and you don't have to. It's okay if you don't. So just the FYI for you. Just the FYI for you. Drew Lloyd had 20 points. Asia Wilson had 14. Chelsea Gray had 10. Jackie Young had 24. So everybody was scoring. Parker Tyus didn't score, and Megan Gustafson did not score as well. So one, two, three, four, five, six. They had six people in double digits. One, two, three, four. Four people for Dallas. And it looks like Paige Beckers did not play. Oh, that's right. They were resting her. Lee Uru, babyface Uru, just didn't get it done. She's 1 for 7 from the floor. Oof. Lisa Gieselsoder, 4 points. Enrique, 18 points. Dejanay is back on the court, 14 points. Played 30 minutes. JJ Quinterly, 25 points, 25 minutes, 8 points. Grace Berger. We had a Grace Berger sighting tonight. 15 minutes, too. She ain't scored, though. She was 0 for 1 and didn't hit not near free throw. 0 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 turnover. Dallas is bad, man. Dallas and Chicago going to end up getting new coaches. Yeah. Oh, that's what's up, Albert. Eric B, Coogee Rap. I'm old school too, man. Eric, When I Be on the Mic is one of my favorite songs. But yeah. That's old school hip hop, bro. Check out my melody. Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, the Wings are bad. Um, what did Asia Wilson do? Do y'all still think Asia Wilson is an MVP candidate? I think the MVP is coming down to Fee and Sabrina, in my opinion, right now. Because they're doing it for winning teams. Asia, Las Vegas, but their win today puts them at 500. So they've been on a struggle bus. So yeah, that's your era of hip hop. Yeah, man. They don't. Yeah, we built different, bro. We built different. Eric B, Cool Rap, DJ Polo. For me, dude, anything that Premiere produced, anything that Premiere produced. Alyssa Thomas is in the conversation. Absolutely, absolutely, yes, 100% yes. So, um, I tell you what, she keep doing what she doing. Absolutely, absolutely. So here's the thing that's going to be interesting. Caitlin Clark's going to be out until second or third week in August. So that gives her another 3 weeks to heal. When she comes back, what is the pace of the game going to go to? That's what I want to know. And this is where it's going to come to Stephanie White. She's really got to figure something out. She's really got to figure something out. Yeah, Rakim is the GOAT, man. I'm with you on that. Yeah, you realize that lower leg. Brianna Stewart's injury. Yeah, she got hurt early and never came back. Never came back in there. So, but yeah, man, it's Alyssa Thomas. I guess you could throw Asia in there. I would throw Kelsey in there, absolutely. I ain't got no problem with that. Let me see. Was there anything we missed? Oh, Washington and Phoenix. Phoenix won that game, 16-9 Phoenix. Mercury and the 12-13 Washington Mystics. Alyssa Thomas, 27 points. Woo! 11 boards, 8 assists. Damn, she was 2 assists shy of a triple-double. 3 steals and a block. She was on the heater today. Natasha Mack, 10 points. Satu Sabali, 15 points. Kalia Copper, 6 points. Monique. Let's see. Sammy Whitcomb. Katija Laxa, 13 points. Natasha Mack. Shakira Austin went off tonight. She's been getting better and better, though. As a big, Shakira Austin has been balling. Kiki Iriafen only had 6 points, 2 for 7 from the floor. Oof. Not a good night for the young one. Brittany Sykes, she didn't score again. Sugg Sutton only got 4 points. Sonia Citron's got 13. I thought I saw a thing that said Sonia Citron got hurt. I must have misread it. Emily Inksler, 8 points. Stephanie Dolson, 5 points. And Lucy Olson, 3 points. Oof. Yeah, Washington Mystics, yeah. They did not bring forth their good game tonight. Yeah, they didn't do much of nothing. Sheesh. Gangsta Star. Gangstar is my dude. Like I said, anything Premier produced from Gangstar. Gangstar, not when he turned into Guru, although I did have a couple of Guru's album, but that was during the Jazzmatazz stage. Everybody was using jazz riffs and jazz samples. And Guru was one of the best to do it. So everybody's like that. Yeah. All right. What we got coming up? Atlanta, Minnesota. What are the stats on this game? What did Fee do? What did Fee do? Brittany Griner, 22 points. And I bet 12 of those 22 was that little 6-foot hook shot because can't nobody stop that. Brianna Jones had 7. Brittany Griner had 22. Alicia Gray had 12. Jordan Canada had 18. Jordan Canada's been balling late. Mike Caldwell had 9. Nas Hillman had 7. Trade deadline is coming. I have no idea, man. I have no idea. I just hope they keep Bibby. Because my pipe dream of Meesman got killed a couple days ago. So, but I think Bibby is a good addition. Keep her till the end of the season. She on a 7-day contract. Just keep her. Same way they did with Ari. Just keep her. She played well today. She made a couple shots. Um, I don't know what they expected from her, but she had to exceed what was expected of her. She had to. So I don't know. I don't know who they're gonna get, man. I don't know if they might. I think Chloe Bibby is fine. Um, could they afford to get anybody else? We got anything else pop off? I wanna see what did Kelsey say? I gotta see. I gotta go back and look at that in the room. Ah, look at that boy's face. That's my little grand boy. That's my big boy. My little great grandson right there. Roman. Look at that face. That's my man's. Uh-oh. Somebody sent me a message. Nice. What's up, Shira? I see you in the live. I see you in there. Everybody gets scared to come on live, but it's all good. We'll get there one day. We'll get there one day. Trying to think, anything else that I missed? Yeah, I think we got everything, man. Let me check the schedule, see what's coming up this week. Monday. No, Tuesday. So Indiana plays Wednesday. We play Phoenix comes to town. That'll be a good game. That'll be a good game. That'll be a real test for the squad. Phoenix, 7 o'clock on Wednesday. So that's going to be an important game because they're a good team. But if we can manage to get a win against them, that would be a statement win. That would be like your team um, showing up, showing up. What's going on, Shira?
Oh, not too much. I watched the game today, agreed with your commentary on it. The Fever game, that is.
Yeah, it was. Wasn't happy that they kind of let them back in, let them off the hook a little bit, but the second halves have been good the last 3 games, so they got to keep that up.
One of the challenges the Fever seems to have is that if they're playing a team that's ranked lower than them, they kind of play down to that level
Agree,
instead of
100%.
instead of bringing the Thunder. They really need to bring the Thunder every time. They should have won by a wider margin today.
I agree. They do play down. They got to be able to bring it through. They got to be able to, beat the teams you're supposed to beat. But every now and then, you got to show a team. You got to put your foot on their neck and just beat them by 15 to 20, and not let them back in the game. But they have those spurts where they'll be up to a double-digit lead, and then all of a sudden they'll start jacking up threes, and then it'll create these 4 and 6 point swings, and then before you know it, a double-digit lead is a 2 possession game. They do that all the time.
Yeah, it
So
definitely happened too many times in today's game for my comfort.
yeah, and they're not gonna get away with that against Phoenix.
For sure.
That's
And
for
that's
sure.
not a good playoff behavior either.
Nah, Not at all. What's up, Moss man? Yes, I am a Fever fan, bro. You must have missed my explanation, my Kelsey Mitchell explanation. Kelsey Mitchell, uh, Kelsey Mitchell is from my hometown. She's from my high school, and her father was a very good friend of mine, close friend of mine, my fraternity brother. Her father was the reason I went to Eastern Kentucky and played football. So I was in her parents' wedding. so, uh, and having said all of that, I've never met Kelsey because Kelsey, obviously, Kelsey was born when Big Mark graduated, and he was home in Cincinnati teaching at our high school and doing all of that type of stuff when the twins were born. Um, I was up here in Philadelphia, so I never got a chance to really get home to meet Kelsey like that. Everybody else, all my other homeboys at home, they know Kelsey Mitchell. They know her. If I ever run into Kelsey and I say, "Hey, I know this person, I know that person," she probably look at me like, "How you know all of them people?" I'm like, "Hey, I used to spend a lot of time in Woodlawn." So I say all that to say, Moss, that is my affinity for Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell, I started watching the WNBA to watch Kelsey Mitchell and support her. I didn't even want to watch the league. I wasn't interested. I was only interested in seeing her and supporting her. And then, of course, one thing led to another. So, yes, I am a Fever fan. I hope that explanation wasn't too drawn out. What's up, D? What's going on? Shira, have you heard anything else about the negotiations? Have you had your ear to the ground?
I haven't heard anything recent since what they said in the All Star weekend. I've had a
Okay.
chance to reflect on some of the things that came out during the weekend, and I think the players are making some mistakes, but we'll see how it all shakes out.
Well, it's going to shake out one way or the other, but I think ugh, I hope they don't do the work stoppage thing. I really hope they don't. But they it sounds like they got their mind made up. But it's a lot of the one thing people forget, it's a lot of time. It's a lot of time from the end of the season till next season. So even if they do decide to have a walkout or a lockout or whatever they're gonna do, you still got a lot of time to iron out something. So um, it's not an end all be all. It only really comes into play if whatever they decide to do, if they do decide to walk out and all of that, it only comes into play if it goes into next season. So they got plenty of time to hammer out a deal. They got plenty of time. So I don't know how they're going to utilize that time. I don't know if they're going to, reevaluate their strategy. I hope they do. And also, we still don't really know what the owners really want because not for nothing, the owners can say one thing and be trying to do something totally different. So I like to use that clip from the Matrix when the Oracle said, "What do all men with power want? More power." So it is not out of the realm of possibility that the owners are probably being unrealistic and greedy because that's what owners do. So
Plus, there's all the noise around negotiation where everybody, whatever they say publicly, it's all positioning and posturing.
yeah, that's what I hate. It's like just pump the brakes on all of the, and it's not even they're not even they're not even talking and explaining their position. Everybody's just saying and rolling their neck what we ain't gonna do, and they're coming at it from that standpoint. It's like, well, nah, you got to say what you want. Because I went back and looked at the last time the NBA locked out, and all of those times um, when they were talking and explaining what they wanted, there was the president would sit down and say, "Hey, we want A, B, C, X, Y, and Z, and this is we're not getting it. And it was a little bit more of a conversation as opposed to just, to your point, posturing. And I just hope that they get all of this stuff out of their system sooner rather than later, because it, to me, it's just not a good look. But I'm not going to be the one that's going to make the decision or give them more money. So
Yeah, I think the players are hoping to get enough fan support to put pressure on the owners, but I don't think the owners are really going to care what the fans think. I mean, to a degree, sure, they want their stands filled and they want people to watch the games, but I think the owners will do what the owners do regardless of what the fans claim to be supporting.
right.
Uh, so I think the players are ill advised to think that by trying to get the fans on their side is going to make a difference.
Yeah, because it's really not, I don't think, because the owners basically, when you own 60% of the league, if the league dropped off tomorrow, the owners ain't gonna miss a beat. It's a drop in the bucket for them.
Very true.
Especially the because I know it's other owners besides the NBA teams, but the majority of it are the NBA teams, and the money that they're making or they're losing from the WNBA is a drop in the bucket. And I don't think the women of the W really understand how much money the NBA has, and they can go off of that. We got all the leverage stuff if they want to, and it's like, no, the hell you don't. You better you better find somebody that knows what they're talking about and has been through something like this before, because it ain't gonna go like you want. It's not gonna go like you want. And if you, I guess I'm always like, if the only thing you're saying is, they're not even close to what we want, and we're not gonna budge, and it's like, well, the whole aspect of a negotiation is to budge. Quid pro quo. You give, you get. So you have to budge, or it's not gonna work. So I'd be very interested to see, and it'll probably come out like, and this is not anything new. The owners, they got their books and their accountants, and they say one thing, and the WNBA is like, well, hold on. It's like we come up with some totally different numbers. What's the math ain't mathing. So I hope they get it squared away. But I'm with you. All of this posturing, not a good look, and they need to have one mouthpiece. I don't know who that's going to be, but they need to have one or two mouthpiece. That's it. You can't have everybody comment. You can't have everybody talking, because every time you do that, whoever is talking is speaking for the whole league, whether they want to or not.
Yeah, they'll be construed as such. And even if it's just a player mouthing off, the owners might say, well, that's interesting. What insight do they have into the negotiation, and how can I leverage that to advantage?
Yeah. So we'll see, but I don't think it's going to get really hot and heavy until after the season is over with.
One of the things that's going to affect the timing is that the expansion draft, I think they were intending to have it in December. And if it's not wrapped up by December, I don't see how they can do an expansion draft in December.
I didn't even think about that. That's a good point.
So it could have implications for that. That might have to
Absolutely.
be delayed. And if the expansion draft is delayed, that could in turn delay the free agency season.
Wow. I didn't even. That's a great point.
So those factors are going to put a time box around it. And when you consider that all of the non-rookies in the league, for the most part, are now going to be unrestricted free agents, the free agency period is going to be very chaotic, very busy, and every GM is going to have their hands full trying to build a roster with all of the free agents floating around out there. And the less time they have to do their scouting and evaluations and negotiations, the more chaotic it's going to be.
Yeah. I'm trying to see the dates. The playoffs begin September 14th. So let's see the end of September going into October is going to be WNBA Finals
The
October
formal
19th.
contract end date is October 31st.
Well, it says the last possible date for the finals is October 19th. So, playing the finals. So yeah, let's just assume it's going to go into that last week in October.
Yeah.
So right around Halloween. Either the week of or the week before Halloween. So that gives you the expansion draft. Expansion draft date is December 6th. So that really cuts down on the time.
For sure.
So you got 2 months, basically.
That's right.
You got November. Actually, you got 1 month if the draft is December 6th. So you get a little over a month after the finals to hammer this thing out. Yeah.
And the
I don't
new
see
teams
that.
are going to be very busy doing their scouting then.
Yeah.
It's also unclear how the expansion draft will work when almost everybody is going to be an unrestricted free agent. There'll be a few restricted free agents and, of course, the rookie contracts. But for the most part, nobody's going to be on multi-year contracts anymore. They're all going to be on just normal. Well, they're all expiring at the end of the season. So
Right.
not sure how the expansion draft is going to work when the teams aren't going to have people under contract other than rookies and RFAs.
You're gonna have a bunch of players that are basically rentals for a year. And then or they're going to put some type of provision in the CBA if they get it ratified that addresses that situation.
Or the expansion teams simply pick from the available free agents instead of picking from the teams, which is another way it could go.
Yep, you're 100% correct. So they do have some options, but time is limited. They got a month. So I was totally wrong on that. They do not have a lot of time. Woof. That is, or they're going to postpone the draft,
which could be done for sure.
Yeah, I don't think the draft is
something.
Yeah, I don't think the draft is. I don't think the draft is as important. Now you can't even say that because it is important, but only if they get the deal done. Only if they get the new CBA in there.
Right.
If they don't get the new CBA in, it don't matter. But it'll be a situation where, okay, so what happens if they do get a new CBA ratified? How much time do you got before the new season starts? So I guess technically, no, you can't do that. I was going to say, technically, they could go ahead with it and just try to retcon it after the CBA is done, assuming the CBA gets to. Nah, that's too much assuming.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts on this one this year.
It is. You are correct.
And whoever, whether it's Kathy Engelbert or some of her team members, whoever has to organize all of this is going to have their hands full for sure.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting because it's going to be, the look is going to be on both sides. Because of course now you get into, all right, we got to get some people together to have a meeting to try to hash this thing out. Who's going to be available? Who's Because guess what? Fee and Stewie, you can't be running around trying to get your unrivaled shit together because you this has got to be first and foremost. This has got to take precedent over whatever unrivaled is doing.
And if they don't give it precedent, what will the recourse of the teams be or of the players that they're claiming to represent?
Exactly.
The
I think
conflict of interest rears its ugly head again.
Yep, and you said that weeks ago.
Also, on the conflict of interest front, I think the bulk of the negotiations are being led by older players who have been in the league a long time. You can be sure that whatever they're negotiating for, they're going to prioritize what's good for themselves and not what's good for the younger players who have been in the league, say, 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
And there are going to be some things like the issue of, say, what happens to the people who are under contract today, which is for the most part going to be people on rookie contracts. Will there be a negotiation that allows them to take advantage of the new pay scale, or are they stuck under the contracts they're under?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And will the older players who are leading the negotiations take care of the younger players, or will they basically treat them as unimportant for purposes of who their stakeholders are?
That's a great question, because if there is a work stoppage, who's taking care of them younger players? Because they're not making $270,000. Not like that's big money for pro athletes, anyways. But if you got rookies making between $75,000 and $100,000, $100,000 is a lot different in LA and New York than it is in Indiana.
That's right. And if the contract is terminated, then the teams probably aren't going to have those younger players living in team-funded apartments.
Yep.
They're going to tell them they have to vacate until the negotiations are done.
It is a whole domino effect of bad stuff that's going to happen to the players.
Yeah, and I'm not convinced that Stewie and Fee are going to take care of the younger players in that way, because they're going to be caring about what's good for Unrivaled.
Absolutely. Not to mention, does the player association for the W have enough in their kiddie pool or whatever specifically for that? I doubt it.
It seems unlikely.
Yeah, I doubt it. It's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope, and they don't. They want to operate. Their verbiage is like they've had skin in the game for 30 years, and they haven't. To me, that's the biggest issue. Stop talking like you've been profiting for 30 years, or hell, even 10 years, even 5. You've never turned a profit. So you can't talk like that's like somebody that comes to your house and steals stuff out of your house, and then they get a job, and they get mad because you don't want to invite them back to your house. You can't do that. You can't proceed like you've been making all of this money. All of your negotiating leverage is in the last 2 years since Caitlin Clark happened. That's it. Asia couldn't do it. Stewie couldn't do it. Taurasi couldn't do it. None of those other players, those old heads that were the superstars. Hell, Candace Parker couldn't even do it. Candace Parker could not convince the fan base to show up consistently. So they didn't make any money. They still don't make any money. Now, I believe the NBA subsidized, I want to say $25 million a year until last year. Last year it jumped up to 40 because they had to get the jets. They had to get the charter flights. but for the most part, they subsidize. I believe it was 15 to 25 million per year. So
Yeah, it was that definitely that range.
yeah, so if you look at it from the high end, let's say go ahead and say 25 million a year. What's 25 times 30? And they want their money back.
They definitely want to recoup their investment. Now, those who
Absolutely.
also own NBA teams, for them, the accounting is a little bit of funny money
Yes.
because they're getting money from both revenue from both the NBA and the WNBA.
Right.
And they can also leverage investments because if they're paying for an NBA staff of trainers and practice facilities and all the things that go to keep a sports team running, then they can just leverage those resources for the WNBA as well. Recovery facilities, for example.
Right.
But for the teams that don't, or for the owners that don't have an NBA team, they don't have that leverage. They don't have another team they can spread those costs across.
Yeah. They don't. Or that just general second source of income.
That's right. I do think that there is a certain amount of creative accounting involved, like in the new $2.2 billion um, media deal that's being allocated to the WNBA. That's what the NBA is allowing them to have.
Correct.
Now, is that the correct allocation for what they're going to be generating for viewership and interest? I don't know. I don't have access to the books, obviously. But I think there's a certain amount of accounting there to keep more money for the NBA that might be disproportionate to what the WNBA's impact is.
Right. Because
But
why was it, I forget what the whole deal was. I don't remember what the whole uh like what the total deal was.
yeah, I don't remember either.
Let me see if it because the NBA could have hell, they could have given the W 6 billion. It
They
didn't have to
could
be
have.
it didn't
They
have to
could
be
have an
two.
arbitrary amount.
Yeah. Let me see if I can see it.
And you got to
Yeah,
know that given the prices people are paying for expansion teams, there's a lot of perceived upside um, profitability expected.
right.
People wouldn't be paying um, hundreds of millions of dollars for expansion teams if they didn't see huge upside potential. And that tells me that there's actually more money coming in from WNBA activity or expected to. Maybe I should word it that way, more than what is currently being admitted.
Oh, for sure. For
So it's
sure.
tricky.
Because they want the lion's share, obviously.
Yeah, it's tricky. And, um, it would be really interesting to see the books, not that we ever will. But I suspect that if I were the players, I would be suspecting how the money is being moved around. Right now it's being allocated a certain way because it's favorable to this CBA negotiation, and the NBA is not negotiating one right now.
Mm.
But we shall see.
Yeah, it's gonna all play itself out one way or the other. But you already know the NBA and those owners, they gonna get their money one way or the other.
For
And
sure they will.
I think a good strategy, and this is based on just the rhetoric that I've heard, they're not gonna do this because if they were smart, I think we talked about this before, they would set it up for a 2 or 3 year CBA because these numbers are going to change drastically over the course of the next 3-4 years,
They
and
are.
it's only going to go up.
And right now it's a very weak case to say, we're going to achieve these TV ratings because it all depends on one player whose injury caused viewership to plunge by 55% across the whole league.
Yeah, but even see, here's the good thing about that, because obviously, when Caitlin Clark is playing, the viewership spikes. When she's not playing, it hits the floor. The thing is, though, that floor is higher than the previous year's ceilings.
That's true.
So that just tells me that the league is still trending in the right direction. Not to mention, we've talked about, Olivia Miles and Lauren Betts and eventually Juju Watkins and Malaysia Fulwiley and all these other athletes that are coming out. And if not for nothing, the one thing Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese has proven, and Paige Beckers, is that now, and it wasn't like this before, but now your audience is traveling with you. Your
That's
fan
right.
base, your college fan base is transferring to the pro level.
That's right. In the past, the college fans lost their players when they went into the pros because you couldn't watch them on TV.
Couldn't watch them on TV, and they went to Europe.
And if they got drafted into the WNBA, they were likely to get waived because so many young players do get waived,
Yep.
especially if they're second or lower picks. Like Iowa had a National Player of the Year, Megan Gustafson, who was
Yeah.
basically lost to us because she got drafted and then waived and then picked back up and waived and traded and goodness only knows what. And there was no way that we could watch her games. It's going to be different with the incoming young players now.
Absolutely. And the one thing that they've done, um, and this is when I will credit the power of the social media and all of that type of stuff. I think Angel Reese knocked it out of the park when she publicly on her platform said, "Hey, I want this celebrity to come to our games. I want these people to come to our games." And some of them showed up. And that's the one thing that did is made going to the WNBA games in vogue. So
That's right.
now you see Tyrese Halliburton, you see um what's his name? Bam, Asia Wilson's boyfriend. I forget who he plays for, but he's an NBA player. And then you got Jason Sudeikis always going to the Liberty game. So you got A-list celebrities going to games. So now it's an in vogue thing. And that's only going to get bigger and bigger. Not to mention on the other side of that, the amount of little girls that are walking around with Caitlin Clark stuff on.
Oh,
Even the
yeah.
game today, I made a joke about this. I was like, whoever's broadcasting the games, I do not need to hear stats about how many autographs Caitlin Clark signed.
I
Like,
heard
I
you
don't.
say that and I laughed.
Oh my god, I was like, really? Like, I don't need to hear that. Come on, man. But um, they're in Chicago, and it's a ton of girls with Caitlin Clark gear on in Chicago. So the reach is there, and it's not going anywhere because eventually all of those little girls are going to be teenagers, and they're going to keep coming to the games. So that generation, the generation that's been introduced now as 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old girls, they're going to grow up with Caitlin Clark, with Angel Reese, with Paige Beckers, with all of these athletes coming out now. So the fan base is evergreen right now. And they got to keep it that way. And the one good thing the W's got going for them, we know this in the NFL. Nobody spends more money than little girls. Parents spend on their little girls more than they'll spend on their boys. So the merch, the money, the viewership, it's all going to be there. And it's going to continue to trend up because these girls are going to continue to grow up. And as you grow up, your tastes get a little bit more expensive, but the fan base is growing with the league, which is exactly, it just timed out perfectly.
For
And
sure.
I always find it funny. Why is it that, Caitlin Clark is the most popular? That doesn't mean she's the best. She's certainly not close to being the best player we've seen. I would still put my money on Candace Parker as being the best to ever do it. Now, some people will say Maya Moore, and there's no wrong answers. But the point is, how come it was Caitlin Clark that finally broke the threshold? What was it? Why did she have the recipe and Taurasi didn't with all of those national championships? Paige Beckers didn't. Maya Moore didn't. Ella Del Don didn't. Sue Bird didn't. Nobody, Tina Thompson. If you can go all the way back, Cheryl Swoops. Now, it was a lot better back then because they had less distractions. There wasn't 360 cable channels and Fox 1 and Fox 2 and ESPN 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and the Ocho, and they didn't have all of that. So it was less distractions. So when the W started, it was the response was a lot better. And then you fast forward to now when, Xfinity gives you 8 million channels and you get all them other options. And you know what? I don't like this brand of basketball. So you got other options. And for whatever reason, Caitlin Clark had the recipe. She had it.
It's
I don't
because
understand
she
why.
approached her game with being an entertainer in mind.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, but I would argue there have been other more entertaining players, or at least as entertaining, for whatever reason, be it personality, being them talking trash on the court. There's always been like that. I've said before many times, I am not a fan of Diana Taurasi. I thought she was a dirty player, but that doesn't change the fact that she was one of the best to ever do it. How come she didn't have the recipe? So, to me, it's just one of those weird things. Like I'm always looking for like the why. Why was it her from Iowa, from that lost 2 national championships in a row? Like, why was it her? You know what I mean? So it's just interesting how that plays out and how the audience will tell you how to follow the money. The audience will tell you where to go. And for
That's
whatever
true.
reason, she had the recipe.
That's right. She did.
And didn't even win a title.
Didn't have to. Once you're in the pros, audiences don't care so much anymore what
Nope.
college titles you won. They want to hear how many rings you won in the pros.
Correct. You are absolutely correct. So
And the more
Albert says
distant
Cynthia Cooper
somebody's
was the
college,
best.
yeah, the more distant somebody's college exploits become, the less people care what they.
I agree with you 100%. That's one of the things that they told me when I was in the NFL. Your rookie year, that's like, hey man, whatever you did in college don't matter. Everybody up here is good. So you at the top 1% of your class. So what you did a year ago is irrelevant right now.
That's right.
So and that goes both ways. Because you get a lot of talk from these people that went to UConn and the Paige Beckers fans and Taurasi and all that. There's a huge cadre of athletes from UConn. But to your point, it don't matter now. It doesn't matter now. It doesn't matter that Camilla Cardosa went undefeated with Dawn Staley because she can't win a game to save her life right about now.
That's right. Nobody cares what she did in college. They're
No.
pointing out what the failure of the team is in the pros.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I hope they figure something out because heck, this was a revelation to me of how much time they don't have to get
Right.
this thing done. So, and it'll be interesting going back to the conflict of interest issue. How much energy Fee and Stewie are going to put into Unrivaled if a deal is not done, and how that's going to look. to the league.
That's right. And do they have incentive to get the CBA done, or do they have the incentive to let it languish and therefore bleed off players for unrivaled?
Yeah. And everybody, Unrivaled can't handle everybody.
That's right. And the premise for Unrivaled is that it's an income source for players during the off season, so that they have an alternative to AAU or going overseas or
Going
whatever.
overseas, yeah.
So what incentive do they have to negotiate for the best salary when the low salary is what motivates people to come to Unrivaled?
Well, the one thing they've been doing smart is they've been getting all these NIL deals. They doing that with college players now.
Yeah, they did that with Paige last year.
Yeah, they're trying to set it up. But the problem is Unrivaled can unless they decide to go 5-on-5, it's only what? 8 to 10 people on the team?
Not even that. I think it's more like 6 or 7.
Yeah, because it's 3-on-3. So it goes back to the question I asked: if they holding out, who's gonna monetarily help the players that don't make a lot of money?
That's right.
Who's gonna help that rookie that signed for a $75,000 contract living in New York or wherever Connecticut is going to end up? Because
That's right.
Connecticut's probably, I heard Connecticut might end up going to Rhode Island.
Well, that's interesting. I hadn't heard that.
I had heard Rhode Island, but I was like, everybody just assumed it was going to be in Boston. But let's say it is in Boston. Boston ain't cheap either.
That's true. In fact, it's downright expensive.
Yeah. So, I just think, I hope they got their money ready if they're going to hold out.
Yeah. And also a plan for the players who get evicted from their WNBA funded apartments.
Yep. So Angel Reese better be going to a whole bunch of other Met Galas. She's going to have to make that money. So, and that's the thing, these rookies ain't got Met Gala money. These rookies,
right.
They don't have State Farm money.
That's right.
I don't know. I don't know how much of a kitty they got together. I'd be curious to figure that out, because the one thing when it comes to these type of negotiations and when you expecting somebody's livelihood, that can go south real quick.
It can, definitely.
Because, it becomes the haves and the have-nots. So I mean, going back to the 80s, obviously I wasn't playing back then, but I remember what happened in the NFL when they had the scab players and all of that type of stuff. It was nasty. It got very nasty.
Yeah, and I could see this getting nasty as well.
Yep.
This could also cause a turnover in the rosters where the old heads find themselves forced out.
Yes.
In favor of the younger players who are hungry.
Well, I don't disagree, but I think more importantly, as the owners see it, they want the young players who are going to attract more attention.
That's right. Who already will bring fan bases with them.
Yep. Because the old heads, in my opinion, there are not many that people want to watch.
Yeah, people don't want to watch a half-court offense grinding it out in the paint.
No.
They want to see the high-speed, fast breaks, transition offense, rapid ball movement. The younger players are going to be learning how to do logo threes because they'll be imitating Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
We'll see growth in that. I think we'll see growth in younger players trying to stand out who start trying to dunk.
Well, you already got 1, 2. You got 3 of them in the league right now. 2. Well, technically 2. No, 3. You got Dominique Malonga. You got Kiki Iriafen. And you got Michaela Timpson.
That's right.
I'm not even counting Brittany Griner.
And if they start doing it on a regular basis, like a regular, you can expect to see it once or twice a game, that'll draw the fans to them.
Absolutely. But I honestly, I don't even think they have to do it once or twice a game. I think they got to do it every now and then, but enough. Somebody has to do it enough to just let people know it can be done.
Right.
I don't think it has to be every game because you got what's the girl out of from South Carolina, Ashlyn Watkins. She's dunked in a college game before, so I know she can dunk. Then you got what's the girl that just went to Duke, Toby Fournier from Canada. She could dunk. She's been dunking since she was 13 years old with two hands. Um, Kiki Iriafen plays for the Mystics. She can dunk, but for whatever reason, she doesn't do it in the game. I was waiting for her to dunk last year against US when she played for USC. Never happened. And Dominique Malonga had an opportunity. I remember watching that game. Erica Wheeler, it was her and Erica Wheeler on the fast break, and Erica Wheeler kept the ball to the last minute and passed it to her, and she wanted her to dunk, and she just laid it up. And like you saw the look on Erica Wheeler's face, she was upset.
I think we'll
So,
start seeing it, if not this season, then next season, as the young players try to stand out and differentiate themselves. And that's
yeah,
going to make the older players less relevant and less sought after and
yeah.
less valuable from a contract perspective.
Because I'm thinking of realistically, what older players do you want to see right now? And that is a very hurtful question to answer. Because somebody gonna get their feelings hurt.
Right.
Somebody gonna get their feelings hurt. When I see, obviously I'm biased and I'm gonna say it anyways. When I see Kelsey Mitchell play, I want to see Kelsey Mitchell play. When I see Enrique, I want to watch Enrique. I want to watch Paige. I want to watch. Trying to think of who else is. I want to see Asia because Asia can do everything. I want to see Fee. I want to see Sabrina. Um, I want to see John Quell and I want to see Stewie. But
I'm not all that interested in watching, say, NECA.
NECA is good, but I agree with you.
She's part of that old slow half court offense.
Yeah. Do I want to watch Skylar Diggins? Is she going to entice me to watch again? Is she going to make me watch?
And again, it's not a question of who's good at what they do, but who's entertaining to watch.
Exactly. Who do you want to watch? Who do you want to watch? Do you want to watch? Now, me personally, I like Ryan Howard. I like Alicia Gray. But other than that, I like Shakira Austin. I like Brianna Jones. Shakira Austin, she's fun to watch because she's got the bright red hair and she's good.
She is good.
The fact that we're like, smoke coming out of our ears trying to figure out who we would want to watch is a problem.
That's right. And it speaks to who's going to have value in the contract negotiations. Like
Absolutely.
Once the CBA gets established, who's going to be sought after by the owners and who's going to say, wait a minute, where do I fit?
Yeah. And I think the worst, even though they got to know it, they have to know it. And I believe they do know it, that the way the optics were last year and even this year with how they treated Caitlin Clark, that's going to come and haunt them because Caitlin Clark holds the most value of any player in the league right now.
For sure.
And I know some of those veterans got to be pissed off about that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I'm like,
I think you see it in how they treat her on the court.
yeah, they had the perfect opportunity. And for the most part, they did it. For the most part, they did it at the All-Star weekend. Even though she wasn't playing, she was everywhere. taking pictures. She was on Good Morning America. She did the tour. Caitlin was everywhere. She did what she was supposed to do. And I
Yep.
thought, and I've said this before, if Angel Reese was the business mind that everybody thinks she is, she'd have been hooked up with Caitlin Clark.
Yeah. She has a
Every
good agent, but not necessarily a good eye for optics.
I you ain't even if you got to fake it to make it. I don't care. Every time, I mean, you saw it last year when they played in the All Star game. Whenever
Right.
they did something together, the place went nuts.
That's true.
They went nuts.
I was quite shocked actually at how excited people got when Caitlin made a pass to Angel that assisted a score. Like,
Yeah,
what's the big deal? She passes to who's ever open and has a good look. But people really thought that meant something other than just going for winning a game.
yeah, and that hasn't really changed, but they hadn't tried to take advantage of that, or Kathy Engelbert hasn't sat them down and is like, hey, for the betterment of the league, we need to put out a solid front or a united front. Shoot a commercial together, do something
Oh, Kathy
to.
wants to foment the rivalry.
But you can have the rivalry. That's been shown to work. You can use the bird magic thing. There's plenty of examples of rivalries. That don't mean you have to be mortal enemies,
I
and
don't
you can
think Kathy
still.
understands that, though. I
I
agree
I,
with you, but I'm not so sure Kathy understands it.
I can't disagree with that. I can't disagree, but I like Kathy though, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I just think they missed opportunities um, to really put them two together because those are the two biggest names. You got the basketball fan base, and then you got everything else with Angel Reese and social media.
That's right.
You got the two biggest stars in the league, and you haven't bothered to put them two in the same space to shoot any type of promotional at all. To me, that makes no sense. If they don't like each other, then go they after the commercial is shot, then they can go their separate ways.
Uh huh.
That happens all the time. But I think that's a missed opportunity, whether it was on Caitlin Clark's team or Angel Reese's team, or if it was just on the W. I don't know, but that's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, it looks like it's getting late here in my time zone, so I should probably call it a night.
All right. I appreciate you jumping on.
Sure. Good chatting with you as always.
Absolutely. And we will talk again. Please and thank you.
We will. Bye for now.
All right. Take care. Good conversation. Always good conversation with Shira. Shira, I met her on the Twitter Spaces, and we were talking about the CBA negotiations, and she used to do legal negotiations for her job. So she had a lot of good, very insightful things to say. So every time I get a chance to talk to her, I take advantage of it. So good conversation. And I'm going to take her lead and get up out of here because I got to go to work in the morning. But good conversation. Good win today about the Indiana Fever. Um, good games today. And every day is a day closer to the playoffs. So um, I think Chloe Bibby is a good sign. I think Michaela Timpson is playing better. I think Kelsey Mitchell is doing what Kelsey Mitchell has been doing. And Caitlin Clark is getting better. So hopefully everything culminates and comes together in a more positive way so they can make a push to get good seating in the playoffs. But once you get to the playoffs, it really doesn't matter where your seating is as long as you in. Because as you saw today with Minnesota, and as you saw today with Las Vegas and Connecticut, no team is better than anybody else. Everybody can get got. Everybody can get got. So once you get to the playoffs, everybody has a shot to take the title. So, but all right, I'm gonna get out of here, get some sleep, and appreciate. Hope you guys had a good weekend. I appreciate you. Let's make sure we have a phenomenal week. Don't forget to subscribe to Pro Fan Hoops if you haven't done already. So we got Pro Fan Talk and Pro Fan Hoops. And once football season gets started in earnest, then you're probably going to see the official, big time move. Because right now I'm streaming on both channels, but eventually it's going to be Pro Fan Hoops only. So I'm trying to build up that fan base right now. As of right now, we are at, let me see if I can see. Let me go back. Manage studio. Let me see. Content, dashboard, analytics. There we go. We are at 173 subscribers. I was at 150 at the beginning of the weekend. So we've done some work. We got 173. We are on our way up to 1,000. So let's keep it moving. Tell everybody to come hang with me that that want to talk hoops. And we're going to keep this thing moving. Y'all have a phenomenal night. Everybody on the West Coast, y'all have a good night. If you're on the East Coast, it's getting late. It's almost midnight. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Be safe. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'm going to see you in the next one. Peace.